Welcome back. And what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be taking a look at the new Comet rune. And if we kind of go back here for just one moment, I've been playing around with it and it's actually pretty OP. Let's see, where did I check this out? And I've been experimenting with some of the other runes as well. Um, I think they're probably going to nerf the Arcane Comet in the future, but who knows? And I kind of skipped over really quickly, but we're going to be running Arcane, Font of Life, Second Wind, um, that one, Tenacity Rune, and I'm going with Transcendence, is what I've been kind of playing around with. I generally take heal when I do support karma, just because I want to provide a little bit of help to my ADCs, as they are likely to int at times. And typically, you always want to kind of keep an eye on who the enemy jungler is. In this case, it's a Pantheon. And just kind of two things to kind of understand about a Pantheon enemy jungle is uh, one, sometimes they tend to gank a little bit on the early side. And two, the enemies are never alone when Pantheon has his ultimate up. I generally like to put a ward right there. It can be a little bit dangerous, so you just got to be careful. And look at that nice little comet damage. Provides a lot of poke. And yeah, see. Also, I've been running Spectral Sickle as opposed to the other support items. Yeah, I had to flash really quickly there. Oh, I should have known they were cheesing in the bush. Yay. Nice little comet damage there. I, I I used to run First Strike on her all the time, which was actually a halfway decent rune for Karma. Um, Electrocute provides some really good early game damage, but as you start positioning more in the rear later on in the game, you lose a lot of that value. The other rune, which is pretty decent, is Airy, of course. It's pretty much good on many of the mages. But I tend to like, I've been really enjoying the Arcane Comet rune. And so we're level 4, so you kind of got to expect that the Pantheon is probably level 5 by now. And so you have to be really careful. The brand passive, gotta love it. And I just walked into that Teemo room. That was really fun. Worth. We'll take it. All right, so let's see. Here we go. We just saw Pantheon. Oh, why can I not? I like that. Why are you not? Pen. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So back to the task at hand. We just saw Pantheon here, and he can either. There's really not much to take. You might check here, and he might just come for a gank this way. And so, from my vantage point, I got to be careful here, here. We've got a ward up here, so we're doing. So the main thing is we just have to be careful of this trajectory here. All right, so bearing that in mind, let's see how this kind of plays out. So we just saw him. He actually took this line, and he's probably going to be looking this way. He could come this way, and then if he doesn't see anything, he might just go back this way. But in any event, we have to be careful here and here right now. Also, we see the Lucian here. Alright. So let's see how this plays out. Alright. So the mistake that I made was I knew the Pantheon was hanging around here. I knew the Lucian was here. I did not necessarily expect the brand to be here. And I should have. And so what I should have done is I should have backed this way and let them essentially let the tower just kind of take the brunt of this here. And yeah, that death was totally my fault. Can't say I didn't see it coming. Alright, let's continue. Just waste my flash for no good reasons. I should have known that wasn't going to work. Alright, so as I'm panning up, I see all these enemies this direction. I've got a teammate here, a teammate here. It's not a bad position if if Morgana stays back. Whoops. If Morgana stays kind of back in this area, I attack from this area, and then Jin comes here. We can kind of flank him. Mundo is keeping this Yon at bay. We are, of course, missing our jungler up here, Kindred. But we should be able to hopefully take out these if everyone does what they're supposed to do. Now, that rarely happens in Wild Rift now, but let's see what happens. Well, we got two, but we lost three, so not quite worth. Of course, my ADC is over here, just about to be killed. They pulled it off. Teemo's pushing mid. And we got an enemy ADC. Missed my Q, but that's okay. Was a hair off on that one. It's no use in me chasing up in this area because it's just gonna get me killed. Alright, so at this point, we've got two up here, we've got two right here. We've got an enemy missing, so you have to either assume they're looking at this dude here, who's all alone. They're going to reinforce here, or reinforce here. So essentially what I'm kind of saying is we have to be kind of on careful, because we're showing here, here, and here. So they know exactly where we all are. Let's find out if we get punished for it. Now we know where everyone is. Alright, so, sorry, you might not have heard that, but what I was saying, sorry about that, is that we know where all the enemy team are because we know that there's two up here, which are probably either going to be pushing or backing. We know that all three are in the mid lane and that there is no one here, which has been nicely pushed in by the ADC. We've seen all the team mushrooms being thrown in this area, so we can't exactly do much. We have to be careful about pushing forward, and therefore there's essentially a couple of options. We can either back and go by something. We can either try to kind of go this way because we know the Teemo is somewhere in here. We could try to rotate, but because it's so pushed in, the ADC is probably looking to back. And there's really no one up here, so it'd be kind of fatal to try to go towards the top lane. So at this point, you really only have one of two options. Really just try to push forward, being careful of Teemo, or taking your back. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to be doing. The thing which I didn't anticipate was the ADC here coming. Of course, now that the ADC is gone, bot lane is fully exposed, and they're pushing hard. And so right now, it's just kind of we need to push this and get something because we're obviously going to lose something down here. So you want to make it as equal as possible. What Mundo should probably do is push here and then have the ADC rotate over here. Or mid. Mid can also rotate as well, but it's a Morgana mid, so they're a little bit more squishy. Alright, so now we're kind of in a precarious position because we have Morgana here. That's close to here. We got a Kindred here, and then I'm just kind of in the middle. So do I go here or do I go here? It might behoove me to go this way to help out the jungler. Um, but right now, Morgana's closer. I also have to be careful of this Teemo in this direction, who could either go this way or go this way. Now, looking at this, the Teemo is closer to the brand than he is to the Pantheon. You would probably expect him to rotate towards the jungler, his enemy jungler, which would then put me rotating towards the Pantheon for a 2v1 in both rivers. So let's go and see what happens. We went a little bit too far back. That's okay. So right here, you have Pantheon and Yone coming in combination. I didn't see that when I was playing the game, but I did see the Pantheon. Um, so actually, it's definitely a good thing we didn't push in too far. I think the Pantheon might have been, yeah, he was running towards the Yone. Very nice. We got a nice little kill off of that. All right, I'd definitely like to go Luden's Echo. I've been also experimenting with different items, and I think Luden's is pretty good on her. And then Infinity Orb, and then you just kind of modify after that. As an ant by brand. Okay, so we're kind of in another interesting position here. So we know we've got a Teemo here, and we know we have the enemy jungler just over here. I'm okay on my health. Morgana is quickly slipping away here. So essentially, it's really going to be a 1v2. Well, actually 2v2 because we have our ADC here. So what our ADC kind of needs to do is, let me get rid of all this crap here. To be helpful, our ADC should start looking this way, because this Pantheon is probably going to try to jump us here, unless it gets scared and runs away. Alright, so let's see what plays out. And it looks like the Pantheon did run away, but now we've got a Lucian who's either going to be here or in this direction. He could also be choosing here as well. So right now we don't have vision of Lucian, but he is there. Alright, we're going to try to provide some benefit here. Looks like it wasn't really needed, but it is what it is. Now there's a Lucian here. Had to break my flash. But there's a Kindred there, which is really nice that we got something out of it. So right now this is not the best Dragon of Calls. We have some... we don't have any prio here yet. We got some decent prio here. We know that Pantheon is right here. He's probably pathing down this way. We know we have the Lucian here, who is currently dead. So it's slightly advantageous, but the enemy jungler is alive. And so it's not exactly free. And like I said, we don't have full prio, so it's a little bit coin flippy. So right now we're stuck in this precarious position. So we can either do the dragon and coin flip it. 2, we can continue to zone and keep the enemy away, right? Because he's right here. And we know that there's a brand somewhere in the jungle, here, 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 somewhere around this area. So we know there's at least 2 enemy junglers, I mean not 2 enemies within this box here. We have vision here, and we don't see anybody. We've had Mundo walking up, putting some nice pressure on mid. And we haven't seen anybody up here. So either you have some enemies that are walking this way, some enemies walking this way, or enemies walking down this way that may have gone down this way and avoided that ward. Either which way, it's not a free dragon. Not the worst dragon call, but not the best either. So as you can see, it's a fierce fight. We've got 3 here. We've got 2 here. Let me get rid of all this stuff. The bulk majority of us are here. We got 1 here. So the problem that we have is if we don't kill this dragon right now, either the enemy jungler is going to be able to steal it, or they're going to take out Mundo and then come straight this way and take the dragon. So again, like I said, it was not the best dragon call, not the worst dragon call, because we had some decent prio at the time. But we need to rapidly burst this dragon down. Alright. We were able to get the kill there just because Morgana actually had him rooted and he was burning in her pool. So that provided a lot of good. Uh, that provided us ability to take him out. Alright, so we're actually in a pretty decent position because A, we know they've got 3 dead, and 2 of them have just shown here. So my ADC can push without any concern about dying and help get prio, because we do have an objective right here. And so what I'm going to do is I can either put pressure here and push them back, or I can rotate down and put some pressure on the bot lane. Again, because we know exactly where they are, we know that the enemy is up here. So at this point, my jungler is just finished off the crab and he's coming down this way. What I can do is I can come down this way, which would be this way, and hopefully we can collapse somewhere here and take out that Lucian that has so boldly run into our jungle. Oh, sorry, it's a Yone. Sorry about that. So we got an enemy here, we got 2 here, and we have 1 Morgana. So that's a pretty bad situation for us to be in. What Morgana needs to do is she really needs to play safe and stay near the tower until we can rotate up and Mundo can come this way. So let's see what is going to happen. Alright, so because Morgana was able to play safe, we were able to wipe out the enemy. Had she not played safe, things would not have gone as well. Now I'm building a Spirit Visage. I usually don't build it on Karma, but I do need MR whenever they have a Teemo, just so you don't die to the shrooms. Alright, so we know all the enemies have just spawned. Our Mundo, for some reason, is dead. We can see the Lucian in mid, and we have no clue where the others are. Why he uses ult, I don't know. So this is a really bad position. Honestly, I did not think that they probably walked this way and then down. Sorry, walked here and then down because they came from this direction. So right now, Morgana is dead. So what I could do is I have ult. My shield is coming off cooldown. My bind is up, and my Q is ready. So I could Q, bind, so Q bind, and then throw my ult, and then run away. Or I could just run away. Let's see. Let me get rid of all this stuff here. Now, what we do have is we do have a jungler here. If our jungler sees the map, the jungler can actually collapse while I'm doing mine, and we might be able to wipe out the enemy there. That's only if the jungler sees the minimap. Let's see what happens. My jungler was slightly late on that. Not a big deal. I had to burn my flash, but I didn't die. Now our ADC is going to get collapsed on. Let's see that slightly here. So if you're paying attention to the minimap, and the enemy is right here, right? My ADC is right here. Let's play this out a tad bit. Alright, so if he is watching the minimap, he will see the enemy collapsing on him. Which, if you're an ADC and there's no enemy deaths here, and there's only one enemy here, and you're this far pushed up, you have to assume someone's looking to gank you. You have to. But had he been looking at the mini map, he would have seen the enemy. And right here, he got pinged. And they're making a beeline right to him. They're making a beeline, so there's no way. He's not even like trying to. He wasn't paying attention to the mini map at all. Alright, so we know that there is a Teemo here. We know that there's 2 or 3 enemies down here that might want to come up because they do have vision here, and they've got an enemy Teemo here. Alternatively, they could just back, or they could push forward into our jungle. So I have to have my head on a swivel. I have to constantly look because we do have vision here, right here. So if they're trying to back, if they're trying to go this way, we'll see them. If they try to come up, we'll come up this way, we'll see them. But if they try to come this way, we don't have vision here. So that's prime ganking position. But what is also interesting is the wave is pushed up here, and this tower is going to be threatened. So they might want to try to take care of that. Let's see what happens. So you see they went to the lane. I'm not sure if you guys heard that, but Lucian basically came over here to take care of the wave so that Yone could take us back. So now that we know Yone is going to be here, we have a Lucian here, we have a Teemo here. Pantheon is dead here, which leaves Teemo. I think Brand was it Brand. Anyways, I forget. Doesn't matter. Leaves one enemy unaccounted for that we have no clue where they're at right now. And if you're not sure where the enemies are, you have to be very careful. We see the Teemo. There's Ione. Shrooms are everywhere. Yeah, Brand. There he is. So now we know where the Teemo, Brand, and Yone are. We know that Lucian was in bot lane, but now we don't know where he's at. Not sure. I'm not sure if I should have rotated back or helped out the Mundo. Probably helping out the Mundo would have been a little bit better. All right, we got our Infinity Orb. Oh, that'll work and she dies anyways. Oh, got a brand, got a backup. And so if you notice the brand was trying to walk up here. We know that there's a Yone here, we know there's a Teemo here, and two are dead. Right? So that means everyone's accounted for. Their jungler is dead. They're pinging to do the objective, which is not bad because we know where everyone's at. Um, like I said, Brand is kind of just second thumb over here. And so it's not a bad call to do Baron. I mean, not Baron, but I forget what objective is up. But to do the objective right now. One thing that we do have to be careful of is this dude right here, because he could either come down and check it and or try to steal it. That's really our only threat right now. So, so if you noticed, Yone went to go up with friend. Brand looks like he might be doing the same thing, which means this objective might actually be pretty free. Let's see what continues to happen. Yes, Baron. And we're just kind of melted this Baron right now. Alright, so right now we just got vision, which means the enemy was just right up here. Most likely the Baron that was walking up this way. Um, he probably ran down really quickly to pop it, just to see if we were on it. And so now we can either stop Doom Baron here and walk away. This has a disadvantage because we know that the enemy could just pop over here and steal it. But if they do that, if we continue to leash it, it might just turn into a leash and we could actually be helping them take the Baron. But we're melting this pretty fast. So the odds are that the brand will be able to just steal it outright is pretty low. Seraphine, Karma with Meteor, Nami could easily steal that. Um, let's see what happens. Now, what I was planning on the brand coming in from over here, or here. I did not expect the brand to walk around the pit this way. So that's actually pretty good on his part. So right now we know we know the brand is dead. We see the Teemo here. We saw two of the enemies up here in the river, which just leaves one unaccounted for. Alright, number one, we should not be starting the dragon. We've got enemy here, enemy here. The enemy jungler is up. In fact, I think he's actually. Well, here's Lucian. I believe that's Yone here. So I think the Pantheon is back here. So right now it's very dangerous to start the dragon, but I think it was already started before we got there. But can I do this? Nice, interesting. Sorry, I'm just learning how to do some of these stuff here. But essentially, um, our goal right now should just to be zone zone them off the dragon, right? We should not be trying to actually do the dragon yet. Alright, so it's even more precarious right now because you have pressure from the enemy here, you have pressure from the enemy right here. We have our jungler who's in the pit, Morgana who's kind of right here. We have our ADC who's dead, and I'm just coming up this direction. Oh, nice. And so this is a very precarious position. We could easily lose this dragon to the enemy. Alright, so um, what I was saying is I'm running this way because I'm getting damaged by the brand passive. My teammates are pushing up this way. Most of the enemy is dead. And so we're actually in a pretty good position right now. Alright, we just aced them. Now, we've got Baron and the Elder. Baron's about to run out. And then my team is just FF'd. Very nice. Perseverance, that's what it was called. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, this has been helpful.